Hi, I'm Kelly King from the CRK Training Blog, and I'm here with my horse Molly today, and we've got a really important topic to discuss for you in today's video. The topic that we're going to be discussing is timing. So timing is really important in our riding and in our interaction and our training with horses. Timing is one of the ways that we communicate to our horses what we want from them. So if we get our timing wrong, we can actually end up teaching our horses bad behaviors. We can actually end up teaching them the things that we don't want them to do just by basically releasing pressure or by accidentally rewarding the wrong thing. Now, timing is important in several different ways. We have to know when to apply more pressure to help motivate the horse to try to get the right answer or to try to figure out what we're asking of them. And we also have to have the timing right of when we release that pressure or when we reward the horse. The first example that I'm going to give you is while I'm riding here. So timing happens all the time when you're riding. It comes with, when do you ask for something and when do you release? And as you get more experienced with horses, your timing will tend to get better. Just going to ride her here for a minute, and I'm going to give you some examples of how this works. So I'm going to cue her to go forward just by tipping forward in my seat here. And I'm going to let her walk around. Now I'm going to ask her to get a little more forward in her walk. And as soon as she started stepping a little more forward, I stopped asking. I got a little quieter. It's very subtle, but it's still there. Now as soon as I get around this turn here, I'm going to ask Molly to stop. So I'm going to stretch up, little squeeze with my hands, and as soon as those feet stop moving, I have to stop. Now what happens if you don't get your timing right, if you don't release your pressure when you're asking the horse to do something, for example, there when I asked her to stop, if I kept pulling on her mouth, she's going to start trying to do something else, she might have backed up like she just did here, she might have started fussing with the bit, shaking her head, doing whatever. And then if you release either late, if you release at the wrong moment, you're going to teach her that stopping doesn't really release this pressure on my mouth, shaking my head does. Or you could end up teaching her, or you could end up, instead of actually teaching her, just getting her frustrated, that she doesn't understand what behavior actually gets her the release of the pressure or the reward that she's looking for. Now, an easier way to maybe talk about this or to demonstrate this would be working with a horse on the ground and working through some common issues like a horse that, is afraid of a whip or is afraid of something like sprays or clippers. So that's what we're going to go to next, and we'll see you there in just a minute. All right, we're back here with Stewie, and what I'm going to do with him is I'm going to work a little bit with this scary feed bag, and I'm going to show you how if you're working with a horse that's scared of something, how timing is so important to teach them to stand still for it. If we get our timing wrong, we can actually end up teaching the horse that throwing his head up or moving around or doing whatever else he tries to do is actually the right thing, but all we want him to do is just stand still for the scary object. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up a little bit. I'm going to see if I can just bring it up here and rub it on it. Now as he backs up, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to try to keep it on him here. Good boy. And as soon as he stops and stands still, I take it away. Now if I would have stopped rubbing him as he backed up, that would have essentially taught him that when the scary thing comes up, and again, think about this as like a clippers or a spray bottle or something a little more practical that your horse is scared of. So if he learns that backing away is how you get away from something scary, how do you get this thing to go away from me, then you're going to teach him a bad habit. So I'm going to do this again. Good boy. And that time he stood still, so I took it away before he started backing up. Good boy. And I'll start to build on it. I also, as I've mentioned before, I like to always set the horse up for success. So I try to watch them and I try to take it away before they make a mistake, before they do start backing up or they throw their head up or whatever. And I just build up the time that I'm working with the scary thing. Good boy. We'll open it up so it's a little bit worse, and we'll do it again. So here's he moves. Good boy. I keep it there. When he stops, I take it away. So it's pretty simple concept, but boy, it's just, again, getting the timing right. So another question is, you know, how do we improve our timing? And the best answer is basically just practice. So you've got to first focus on it, recognize how important it is, you know, when you do things, how important your timing is, and then focus on that. So think about whatever you're doing, make sure that you're completely engaged in it so that you can think fast enough to, you know, take this away, to drop the rein contact, to take your leg off the horse, whatever you're doing. Now I'm going to give you one more example here with my little stick. And this was something that I could have talked about when I was riding Molly earlier, but a lot of horses can actually learn to kick out or to buck or to rear. A lot of those bad habits that we have under saddle, a lot of horses can actually learn these things by, again, if our timing is incorrect. All right, back off. He is a very mouthy, you know, in your face kind of a horse. So anyway, if I was riding Stewie and I was asking him to go forward, and I was, you know, tapping him here, asking him to go forward, and he started to kick or he started to buck. If we were, maybe I was asking for a trot or a canter or something, if I stop when he kicks out or when he bucks, that's essentially teaching him that, hey, if you want me to release the pressure from my leg or release the pressure from me hitting you with this stick, all you've got to do is buck or kick out. So instead, when you're trying to work through something like that, you've got to keep that steady rhythm, that steady pressure. Even if he's bucking or kicking, release it when you get what you want, which is, I'm going to give you an example here with him on the ground. If I want him to move away, bring him up here so you can see a little better. I'm going to tap him here right on his rib cage, and I want him to just basically swing his hind legs away from me. So I'm going to tap him here. Good boy. We've done this before. He's starting to learn it. I'm going to tap him here, and every time he steps away, I release. Good boy. Now I'm doing this other side. Now when we first started doing this, when I would tap him, he would come into it, he would start to back up, he would stomp his hind leg. All I had to do was just that gentle tap, 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 tap. I wasn't whipping him. I wouldn't go harder when he did the wrong thing, when he kicked or when he did anything like that. I would just keep the same steady rhythmic tap, 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 tap. As soon as he did the right move, I immediately had to release it. Now, if I would have kept going, he would have either gotten really frustrated because nothing he's doing is releasing this pressure, or if I released it at the wrong time, he would have learned that, oh, okay, if I just kick really hard, that's how I get the tapping to stop. And that's how, now that we've done this just a few sessions, oh, there he's giving you an example, he's backing up. Good, as soon as he steps over, I stop. Give him a little tap, ignore everything else. As soon as he steps over, I stop. And you have to start with small things. You have to start with rewarding the smallest try and then building on that and making it better, just like we did with the scary bag. How first he was standing for a second, back up. And then I would do it for a few more seconds, and we just built on that length of time. And obviously we only spent a few minutes on that bag, so we didn't get very far, but you still see how this concept works and how you can build on this and just make it better. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed today's topic. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And also, if you're watching this anywhere else besides crktrainingblog.com, most of the conversation and the comments happen over there. So go over, take a look at the blog. We've got more riding and training tips for you there as well. Thank you.